Cheng Dalei asked if he wanted to restore the system. He could only reset the system and no other way around. The lottery machine answered yes. He could only reset the system if he wanted it to function properly again, which made Cheng Dalei silent. He asked again about the system reset, assuring they knew how to reset it. Otherwise, why would the lottery machine be so calm? The lottery machine was a mass production type. It was just a matter of sleeping, and the memory could be stored, but not for the system spirit. She is a very special individual, and the system had no way to rewrite her data. Cheng Dalei was silent once more before he asked if she disappeared. Then the reset system would remain without an administration, just like an empty shell. And the lottery machine answered that when the time comes, a new administrator would be born, but it wouldn't be the system spirit, talking about an empty shell. The lottery machine added if Cheng Dalei could find the empty shell from the system, he might be able to keep the system spirit. She depended on this system to survive in the world. Cheng Dalei just had to find a container to keep her, take her out one at a time, and then Cheng Dalei could reset the system without hurting her. And when the system was done resetting, he could merge her with the system itself. Cheng Dalei inquired, what exactly was that container? The lottery machine answered that anything the system itself had ever owned could be used as a container. Cheng Dalei inquired more, what did the lottery machine mean? Then the lottery machine explained the system itself was a divine thing that transcended the world. It used to possess many objects, and as long as it possessed one of them, that object got strange powers. People who owned this item would end up doing something great and could occupy a key position in history. They could store the system spirit in the possessions that the system owned, and that's the kind Cheng Dalei should be looking for. Cheng Dalei questioned how it could become a system in his case, since it could possess objects. The lottery machine hesitantly explained this, sighed, and begged him not to bring this up. But since Cheng Dalei crossed over because of his sudden death while playing games, because when it owned something, it always had to pick the most valuable thing on the host to own. But Cheng Dalei was just a single soul when he crossed over, so when it fused, it directly chose what was most precious to him personally, the memories and knowledge from the other world. It always had a concrete picture, so he chose the system that his brain imagined. The lottery machine laughed and continued explaining. A game system was born, something that only a traveler like Cheng Dalei could imagine. System spirit was born when his memories were fused with the system. The lottery machine asked Cheng Dalei if he knew the name she gave herself, to which he answered Yizin. And the lottery machine agreed. She was the system spirit. She was a unique, non-imitable model of the mind. She would follow you step by step as he grew, and she was the person who knew him best in the world. She helped him fix bugs that should be blocked, drew cards to cheat, and helped him call the shots, since she was his heart. This made Cheng Dalei speechless. He thought of her heart. Determined, Cheng Dalei inquired how he could find such a container, to which the lottery machine replied about the relics of kings and princes, the higher the power. Cheng Dalei inquired for an example. The lottery machine answered, the founding emperor of the empire, Lai Manzi, who ended the disputes of 19 countries and the founding emperor of the Great Battle Kingdom. He was the most probable and chronologically closest existing great name on which Cheng Dalei understood. It seemed that Cheng Dalei could no longer linger in this little Kin-Nu mountain to wake up this sleepy little fool. It was time to go out into the world and do something meaningful. At the Yuzhu official road, a horse carriage was navigating the mountain road. They were having a conversation inside the carriage. Someone said that it was trouble for Eunuch Liu to take this bumpy journey, which he hoped Eunuch Liu was not suffering. Eunuch Liu answered they were all doing this work for His Majesty. There was no such thing as suffering, it was their good fortune. Court Eunuch Liu Aji added that the people of Yuzhu have suffered because of the warring Ring tribes. Now he had a great victory. The Kui family had chosen a good son-in-law. Kui Yun Giant of the Kui family sighed as he replied that they should have done this for the country and the people. The carriage was almost upon the city of Yuzhu. A few moments later, Yang Longting on horseback inquired if the men had arrived yet, to which a soldier replied telling him not to worry. The scouts reported that they were still 10 miles away from them. Yang Longting thought of getting off his horse and meeting them since they were 10 miles away. An old man beside him reminded his lord that he did not have to do that because he was a noble. Yang Longting explained that the eunuch who delivered the order this time was the close friend of Emperor Ming. A single word from him in the emperor's ear could determine the fate of a person. The old man inquired if it was Liu Aji of the inner court, which Yang Longting confirmed. The old man added that with his status, he was willing to suffer on his journey to travel this far. A horse carriage arrived, and Yang Longting of Yuzhu welcomed Eunuch Liu and Lord Kui. Eunuch Liu humbly responded that there was no need to greet them. He was a meritorious hero of the empire. He did not have to salute them like this. It was offending them. Yang Longting respectfully replied to Lord Liu and invited him to talk in the city. They went inside the city with utmost respect and formalities. Later, Liu Aji still insisted that he did not need to be so serious. They were only here to convey His Majesty's wishes, and they were all admirable officials, so all other formalities were exempted. This time, the Ring tribe rebelled against their empire. Although they were finally driven away, the people were in a miserable state. Liu Aji added that especially in Yuzhou, they were directly facing the most powerful northern clan of the Ring tribe. And finally, they survived, which was a great honor for them. Yang Longting responded that it was for the country and the people. It was only a matter of duty. Liu Aji continued, stating that His Majesty said those who should be punished would be, and those who should be rewarded would be, so that the people of the world could see there were heroes in the empire, and no reward for heroes was too much. This time, Yang Longting did a great job. When Liu Aji left for the capital, he would ask the historian in the capital to write a biography about him. When the time came, Yang Longting would be invited to the capital and would teach others how to fight. He laughed, because the Lord of Yuzhou was also famous in the first war against the Rings. Liu Aji went on to say His Majesty was very pleased and once said if the empire had such brave generals and warriors who had no fear, what could the Ring tribe do? Fang Boshan inquired if His Majesty knew him as well, to which Liu Aji answered he was often mentioned. Fang Boshan thought that was strange. It was not surprising that Yang Longting had made great contributions, but he had been hiding in Qingzhou. It was obvious Cheng Dalei defeated the Ring tribe. He wondered what it had to do with him. Lord Fang Boshan continued to wonder if it was because the mountain bandit showed off the king's seal of Yuzhou and the lord's seal of Loi City every day. People who did not know the truth saw it and thought Yang Longting and I sent him to defend the city. When the story reached the capital, they thought it was him and Yang Longting defending Qin New Mountain and wiping out 100,000 enemies. Fang Boshan believed this was a truly great opportunity that fell from the sky. Yang Longting responded humbly that Lord Clumsy Tongues only knew to bury their heads in the battlefield, so for the book to establish a biography, it was really not appropriate. But on his head, Yang Longting could not say he did not even fight in this war. Liu Aji replied that he was too modest and there was one more small thing. Liu Aji inquired who Cheng Dalei was, as he would like to meet him. All the city lords were left speechless. Yang Longting, unable to respond, was questioned by Liu Aji and inquired what was wrong. The lord had such a brave general, why hide it? Yang Longting eventually retorted that Cheng Dalei was a mountain bandit. Liu Aji heard that he was originally entrenched in Qin New Mountain, but Yang Longting recruited him at his command. So what if he was a bandit? He defeated the Ring tribe and now he's the empire's hero. Yang Longting found a great talent for the empire and did not let Liang Yu be buried in the mountains. Yang Longting responded that he was doing what he was supposed to do. His Majesty the Ming's Emperor said, City Lord Fang and Cheng Dalei contributed 3 parts in repelling the Ring tribe, and they were both to be given credit for the 3 points each. They laughed because they believed His Majesty was too kind, which made this humble servant terrified. Liu Aji inquired where Cheng Dalei was and could they let him meet him first. It was best to take him to the capital so that His Majesty could also meet him. Yang Longting responded that those vulgar mountain people did not know etiquette. He originally was a mountain bandit, and he was afraid he would offend Eunuch Liu. Yang Longting added that in the future, he would listen to the teachings of Eunuch Liu, to which he agreed and commended. Liu Aji replied that in fact, he had another purpose for coming there because this time the Ring tribe rebellion disrupted the country and led to numerous deaths for the empire. The imperial court decided to launch the martial arts competition, and the date was set in a year. His brave generals should not have been too proud to send them to the capital, participate in the martial arts competition, and compete with the other heroes around the world. Someone asked that the court seemed to attach great importance to this martial arts competition, and he responded that His Majesty personally decided that. It was almost night time. Yang Longting sat across the table and asked his second brother about the situation in the capital where his second brother, Kui Yun Jian, responded that the empire lost miserably in the war when the army of the Ring tribe came to the city and forced His Majesty to sign the treaty which concluded the enemy that had reached the city wall. However, the Yuzhou side actually wiped out more than 100,000 enemy troops. As a result, the empire dared to negotiate peace with the Ring tribe entirely because of this war. Their victory was so precious in their case of total defeat. His Majesty would now need to greatly reward the Yuzhu brave general, so the whole country knew they did not lose miserably. Therefore, his brother-in-law would be treated as a hero, and the Qi family will also have the power to voice out in the court because a certain imperial official actually filed a complaint against their Qi family. Qi Yunjian went on to say that a certain person had a birthday and didn't come to celebrate. Could it be that two families had a grudge, and the two kept talking to each other for a long time? Qi Yunjian inquired about the exact situation about Cheng Dalei. Yang Longting answered that he was not easy to deal with, and Qi Yunjian asked if he didn't listen to him. In his mind, Yang Longting thought not only he didn't listen to him, but if he met him, his axe would kill and chop his heart into pieces. Yang Longting responded it was not that he didn't completely listen to him, but the mountain bandits didn't like being controlled. Qi Yunjian insisted that this person must be controlled by him, which was very important, and Yang Longting understood. Additionally, he asked to prepare 2 teenage girls and send them to serve in Eunuch Liu's rooms tonight, which Yang Longting assured was already ready, and inquired whether Eunuch liked women, to which Qi Yunjian chuckled and said that it was a hobby of the officials. The moon and stars filled the sky as night fell. 3 o'clock came, and a shadow was observed entering a room. Fang Boshan was visited and talked about this year's thin horses, reminded not to forget to send them to the capital, and the number couldn't be less. However, Fang Boshan responded to his lord that when the Ring tribe came, the thin horses that survived were not easy to raise nor catch. The road over Skull Island was cut off, had no idea how long it would take to make a new one. In other words, he must first raise enough numbers. If it was really not working well, they would go to the small villages to catch some, which his lord agreed. The morning came at the temporary Toad village at the foot of Queen Yu Mountain, where Cheng Dalei was asked whether they should pick their brothers who fled to the south or rather they go directly to the south to develop. Huang Sangun reported that Yuzhu was too poor for them mountain bandits, and if they continued to rob there, they would become even poorer. The south was good, Jiangnan had so many beauties, and the government soldiers were also more powerful. Cheng Dalei replied there was no need to hurry. They could first dig out the buried treasure inside the valley, so that their brothers who went to the south could have enough capital to develop. The bandits were busy and running errands. Cheng Dalei laid down his back against piles of sacks, thinking about the valley being still flooded. The treasure inside could not be dug out for the time being, and where could he find a container that would hold the system spirit? He was contemplating moving everyone to the south to develop or just move to the capital, and becoming a mountain bandit in the capital didn't feel worth it. Cheng Dalei couldn't decide where to go next. A bandit informed Cheng Dalei that he caught a hare, which he replied to kill and made it into a jerky. Another bandit came and told Cheng Dalei they found hundreds of horses that amazingly didn't drown, which he mistakenly replied to kill but to put them to work. Another bandit found a wild boar, which he ordered to kill and make it into jerky. This became a repetitive order of Cheng Dalei every time his people caught something. While they were out butchering pigs, Zhang Fei informed Cheng Dalei that a man came and claimed to have orders from the Lord of Yuzhu and wanted to recruit them. But Cheng Dalei was sound asleep while Xiao Qiang was calling his name. Suddenly, Cheng Dalei blurted out to kill him and make him into jerky, and Zhang Fei agreed, which scared Xiao Qiang. He pleaded with Cheng Dalei to recognize that Xiao Qiang was his brother as he frantically called Cheng Dalei to confirm it was him. Cheng Dalei woke up and confirmed that he was him. Then they couldn't kill him, so he ordered the third elder to put away the sword first. Xiao Qiang explained that he and Cheng Dalei felt like old friends at the first meeting. It was better to be sworn brothers than blood brothers. However, Cheng Dalei ordered the third elder to cut off his hands and feet, then feed them to the pigs and throw him in the cesspit, which made him more horrified. As the third elder moved him away from Cheng Dalei, he ordered to take care of him and not to bother him if it wasn't anything important. While Xiao Qiang pleaded again to Cheng Dalei that he shouldn't disown his brother, Xiao Qiang yelled if Cheng Dalei wanted to become a city lord. This made him curious. Cheng Dalei ordered the third elder to wait and listen first to what he had to say. A few moments later, they were threatening him with this sword near his neck, talking about shaving his beard and trying it out on him because his beard looked a little long to him. Xiao Qiang begged to stop making fun of him while Cheng Dalei interrogated him as to why on earth he really came here. Xiao Qiang sweated heavily as he explained that among the 4 cities, Blackstone, Fallen Leaves, Red Sand, and Iron River, Cheng Dalei could choose any of them. His lord would request this from the imperial court and reward it to him. Cheng Dalei questioned what he was trying to say. Xiao Qiang further explained that Cheng Dalei had turned the tide this time, defeated the Ring tribe by holding on to Qin New Mountain. It was said that he had made great contributions, and his lord couldn't let Cheng Dali bleed and shed tears. Tomorrow, his lord was going to host a banquet in the Rain and Wind Pavilion. The villagers, nobles, soldiers, and generals of Yuzu would all be there, and all brothers of Toad Village could join them. The people of Yuzu were waiting to see all the heroes, but Gao Fei who questioned the Rain and Wind Pavilion again. Xiao Qiang chuckled that before tomorrow, Cheng Dale better decide which city to choose, so his lord could also make early arrangements. Everyone had to attend. He would be waiting for them in the Rain and Wind Pavilion tomorrow. The Toad Bandits talked about which city would be most suitable for them and were surprised that Yang Longting gave them a city which they didn't expect in the battle, and at least they didn't fight for nothing. They went on talking since Blackstone had been destroyed, definitely not in consideration, so they had 3 cities left to decide: Fallen Leaves, Red Sand, and Iron River. They were cheerfully excited and kept talking about their promising future of becoming young generals, as it would bring honor to their ancestors rather than being mountain bandits, and people would not think of them as bandits anymore. They giggled as if it were a blessing in disguise, despite losing their Toad Village, but they got a city, and having a city they could do business in confidence, and the land would be more prosperous than before while Cheng Dale sat still. Cheng Dale thought that perhaps after becoming a city lord, there would be more ways to find containers for the system. Also find a good way for his brothers, while as for the treasure buried in the valley, they could dig it up later. Anyway, their legs would not grow if they continued running, and they would be able to get it when he became a city lord. Cheng Dale stood up and called the attention of his brothers. They would pack up that night and go to the Rain and Wind Pavilion the next morning. The Toad Bandits enthusiastically raised their hands to show that they would follow Cheng Dale's plan. The next morning, in a mass burial with an offering and gravestone, they visited their brothers and told them their blood had not been shed in vain. Cheng Dale retorted that they all survived and their mountain fortress was destroyed. The Ring tribe had been driven away so their parents and children could live in peace. They were going to live a good life and no longer be spurned by others. Cheng Dale went on to say they were all leaving, and it was time to say goodbye to this place forever. Even if they came back to visit them, they wouldn't be mountain bandits anymore. Cheng Dale rode his horse and ordered his brothers to go. At Yuzu Official Road, where the Toad Bandits were on horseback traveling the mountain road. They were talking and laughing on their journey. The law-abiding people were depressed every day. The ruffians sang merrily every night, riding a mule and harming others for its own benefits, starving with integrity and fairness, building or repairing bridges and mending roads for the blind, murdering and arsoning many children. Cheng Dale and his people saw an old man and child on their way. While the old man kept talking, he went to the western heavens and asked his Buddha, and Buddha said he could not do anything. Cheng Dale approached the old man and a child on his horse with a loud thud, carrying a banner that read, "See through the human world." Cheng Dale was about to be passed by the old man when the old man abruptly stopped. He looked back and asked where they were going. Cheng Dale said that they were going forward, then the horse stopped moving. The old man replied, "Don't go, go back," and there was no way forward there. Cheng Dale inquired why he couldn't go further. Was the road being repaired? The old man turned and explained that he was an old Taoist, knew roughly about righteousness. He understood a bit about yin and yang. He traveled around the world and told people the future to make a living. The old man approached near Cheng Dale and inquired if he would like the ancient Taoist to predict the future for him. He responded to what he was able to do, like palm reading with bones, 8 years of hand signs, yin and yang, or astrology. The old man chuckled as he stroked his beard. Cheng Dale inquired if he could do it all, to which the old man replied he couldn't do any of it. Cheng Dale kept inquiring about tarot horoscopes, purple power, or spirit summoning, to which the old man replied no. If he really couldn't do anything, he could just tell him a joke, to which the old man was silent. Cheng Dale, who seemed irritable, inquired more about what he knew. The old man replied that he would never be able to do astrology. He knew nothing about palm reading with bones. There was only one thing that he could do. It was to see through the human world and let God show him the way. Cheng Dale inquired if he could show him the way too, to which the old man replied he only knew a little bit about it. The old man went on to say that there was no way to move forward. If he continued, there was only death, which Cheng Dale asked what if he went back. The old man responded that going back, there was no hope waiting for them. 9 times out of 10 of them would die. Cheng Dale then had to ask the old man where was his way of being alive. The 4 divine states and the 8 heavenly realms were his paths to existence. The old man replied. Cheng Dale was silent and looked pissed. The old man continued with his phrase, "See through the human world." Cheng Dale got off his horse, which made the old man confused. While approaching the old man, he remained silent and prepared his arm. Suddenly, his fist landed on the old man's face and fiercely yelled to eat his fist. Cheng Dale continued to punch at the old man, chastising him for what happened when certain people didn't speak clearly. While the child man was scared for his master, Cheng Dale went on beating the old man and complained that what he hated the most in life was the mystery man, while the old man begged for him to stop and show some mercy as his face was visibly bruised. The old man yelled at Cheng Dale that he would die soon, and yet he was still so ignorant. For a moment, he was confused, but still he wanted to eat his fist. The child treated the bruised old man as Cheng Dale asked whether he could speak more clearly now, to which the old man responded that he wanted to find a shady place to talk. Later, the old man inquired if Cheng Dale wanted to go to the Rain and Wind Pavilion, which surprised him that he already knew. They both sat across from each other. Cheng Dale chuckled that it seemed news traveled fast, while the old man asked what he was going to do in the Rain and Wind Pavilion. He laughed as he explained that Yang Longting was willing to give him a city with him as the ruler. The people of Yuzhu would also come, probably a recognition meeting or something, while Zhu Shenji advised him that it was better not to talk to him about such confidential matters. The old man sighed as he reminded Cheng Dale was such a heroic person but couldn't even see the trick in it, to which he inquired what he meant. The old man continued to explain that the Wind and Rain Pavilion was not only a recognition conference, but was fully hoarded by officers and soldiers. There were no mountains of seafood and food waiting for them, but swords and cannons, then proceeded to ask how he felt about it. Cheng Dale replied that he still had to ask the Taoist master for advice. The old man explained that he won the battle and not only wrecked the rings but also solved the crisis of the empires. With this fight, it wouldn't even be too much to make him a king. Cheng Dale asked if Yang Longting coveted his credit, to which the old man replied it was not greed, which he felt relieved hearing it. However, the old man went on to say the credit was originally Yang Longting's, which enraged and shocked mountain bandits.